What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. Back at you with another one. So today, we gotta talk about Politician P, man. We gotta talk about Rich Paul, okay? He over here talking about, what this man say? He said that Jordan would have got 0 rings without Pippen. And that the rings count just as much for Pippen as they do with Jordan as far as like legacy and all that. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what Rich Paul had to say, and then I'm gonna chime in with my 10 cents.
Right. They're just not, right? Scottie Pippen rings, those 6, they're not the same as Michael Jordan's. Right. They're not the same as LeBron James.
But they're pretty good.
But they're good. They're good. If there's some sidekick rings, if there's some sidekick rings,
I think Scottie's rings are just the same as Michael Jordan's. Why not?
Because he won the best player on the team.
Yeah, but he was the most impactful player on the team.
I get it.
What do you mean he wasn't?
Listen, I get it.
If you unplug Scottie Pippen off that team,
sure.
Jordan's 0 for 6.
Sure,
could be.
Who knows? But if you replace Scottie Pippen with another All-Star, no one does it without another All-Star. Replace him with another All-Star. He's going to win more than one.
You can replace him with another All-Star, but just because it's an All-Star don't mean it's Scottie Pippen.
No question. I'm not saying 6. I'm saying, but he's going to win some.
How many All-Stars are going to be willing to take a back seat knowing
100% of every All-Star who ever lived?
That's not true.
If you're playing with Jordan, you got no choice.
No, that's not true because, again, this is where you got to really dive into the type of player. You're talking about just All-Star. Okay, remove that, All-Star. But you're talking about a guy that's 6'9", that plays both sides of the ball, that is 6'7", whatever. He got a 7'3" wingspan, right? He can initiate the offense. The best, you had 3 guys on that team, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, that were on the all defensive team. 3.
Yeah. Ron Harper should have been on it too.
Ron Harper was another, and that was after Harp had the knee issue.
I don't care what anyone.
Okay, so y'all heard that, right? Now, a role play, the Robin rings cannot hold the same weight as the Batman's rings. It just stop it, especially when it's like a definitive Robin, not an arguable Robin. Right? There's some arguable Robins. You know what I'm saying? Like the Kobe Shaq, right? Was Kobe a Robin? Was it a duo? That's arguable. So those rings are like more they're parallel to me, right? Because I look at that as a duo. That was more of a duo. But Jordan and Pippen, it wasn't even debatable who was the guy. It wasn't them. It was him and them. It wasn't they. It was him and them. You know what I'm saying? So, Rich, you gotta relax, right? And then to say Pippen was more impactful than Jordan. What? Like, come on, bro. Like, here we go with this revisitive history shit. Everybody want to, you know what I'm saying, want to retell stories. Like, come on, man. More impactful? How? Like, and then even if you look at the stats, right? If you look at the stats. Okay, so I pulled up the stats with Pippen and Jordan. And it's not a knock on Pippen. It's just is what it is, right? I like Pippen, but it's just when people come out and make these outlandish statements, it just rubs me the wrong way. Now, Jordan and Pippen played together 691 games. These are the overall stats for those games. Jordan averaged 31.5 points. Pippen averaged 17.1. Nah, if you got somebody that's your co-star or your other guy, it'll be a lot of I ain't got no help if you getting 17 points production from a dude. And then you gotta look at it like too, you gotta factor in the scoring averages. 30 points a game in that era was like a third of the whole team points. You know what I'm saying? Versus you score 30, but the teams is averaging 130 versus they averaging 90, 95, and you putting up 30 of the 90. You know what I'm saying? It's way more impactful, right? They had the same rebounds, 6.4, same rebounds, pretty much the same assists, Actually, Jordan averaged 5.6. Scottie averaged 5.3, which is the same, right? Steals, 2.5, and 2. So all this all around play. Jordan did just as much other stuff outside of scoring as Pippen did throughout the duration of the time that they played together. So, you know, people love to like create narratives, man, but like the stats can prove right when the right stats are pulled up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people tend to cherry pick analytics to prove a point, but sometimes we leave out certain stuff. I mean, so come on now, let's relax. Let's relax. And then it's like, replace Pippen with an all-star. I think that you would win if I think you could have interchanged Pippen with somebody else and Jordan would have still been successful. Now, maybe playing style might have had to been adjusted, blase split based on said player's skill set, but I don't think that Jordan would have just never won a ring if he didn't have Pippen. Like, I just don't think that. With the level of dominance and desire and competitiveness that he had, I just cannot see that not happening. What people do is use a coincidence and try to act like they making a point. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, Jordan never won without Pippen. Because it's like you taking loyalty and you twisting it to make it a negative. Because I played my cards I played what cards was dealt and made the most of it, so that's a bad thing. Right? Like that's what you're supposed to do, right? You know what I'm saying? He took the cards he was dealt and he made the most of it. But we try to twist it and make it like it's a negative. You know what I'm saying? So, you know. And then with the whole another all-star to replace Pippen, you gonna say wouldn't take a back seat to Jordan. Max said it right. It ain't no player in the history of the game that wouldn't take a back seat to Jordan. Even Kobe would take a back seat to Jordan, and Kobe ain't never seen a back seat. You know what I'm saying? He shipped Shaq out before you thought he was taking a back seat. Back seat? What is that? He a pack. No, we is in here fighting for the steering wheel. They ain't no back seat. Like they wouldn't take a back seat to Jordan. Come on, Rich Paul. Like, come on, bro. You gotta relax. All right, Rich. You gotta relax. No matter how well you articulate something, does not make it make sense. Okay? You can say it as good as you want to say it. You can Stephen A. with the big words, whatever you want to do. But it does not make it true. All right? So that's all I got on that one. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all on the next one. Peace.